Welcome to each and every person who is joining us right now live on Facebook, whether you're joining us there or you're joining us on YouTube. We just want to welcome you to this special. We're gonna call it a Father's Day edition with a nice balance of one lady who's going to balance out the panel for this month's live session and topic. And our topic for this month is parenting a boy child or a girl child or both. So today we have such a beautiful panelist that will tell us their experiences on parenting and how basically they parent their kids, whether a boy child or a girl child, or they parent both of them in the same way or in a different way. Like I said, our panelists are amazing, an amazing bunch of people. And I have to say that for the first time ever in thought-provoking conversations with SYT Academy, we have majority male in our panel. And it is such a thrill because we've been trying to get guys to talk, man. Like, guys do not want to talk, okay? But luckily this time around, we found guys, rather men, who are willing to talk. I'm just going to ask our panelists to please just switch on your cameras so that we can all see you and we can start with our lovely conversation, as they call it. Let us see. Here's Njabulo. Here's Miss B and Zinati. All right. All right. You guys look nervous. Hey, it's as if we are going to be talking about things y'all don't know. You'll live with these kids every day.
To be honest, that's the first thing I was telling myself how nervous I am,
Yeah.
but let's just see how everything goes.
No, but I mean, you know your kids, guys. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous.
Thing is not knowing what to expect. That's why.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Lihle, I think for me, as sharing this space with men, oh my word, these are the guys that goes to men's conference and everything. So at this point, I'm like, dear Lord, ngicela strength.
But you know what, Miss Bean? I think it's a good thing that we have majority men, right? Because we kind of know what women are going to say in parenting. So now we need to know what the guys have to say about parenting, which is what we don't normally hear, right? All right.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Can I ask you to please introduce yourselves, Ms. B, because you are the lady today. We're going to ask you to please start, and then Jabula, you go next, and then Zanati will end off with you. We're just also waiting for Fred. He's going to join us along the way. Okay, Ms. B, you can take it.
Okay. All right. My name is Boza Mpela, popularly known as Miss Boza.
Okay.
Apart from everything that I do in entertainment, I'm an artist manager, I'm a DJ, and I'm an MC, I'm a speaker. I do PR and marketing, I do social media. There's quite a lot of things that I do. But I am a mother of one through it all. So that's what brings me here. So I'm very interested to actually hear the side of men,
Yeah.
especially the thought that men have been complaining, even when it comes to Father's Day, they'd be like, oh no, but Father's Day is not as recognized as Mother's Day. So for the
Yeah.
fact that they are here, you're right, Lihle, I
Yeah.
applaud them for wanting to come out and especially wanting to speak on parenting, because half the time it's women that are on the forefront. So well done to this panel. So that's who I am.
Thanks, guys. And how old is your son? Oh, you have a boy, right? How old is he?
I've got a boy. Yes, I'm a mother to a boy child. He's
Uh-huh.
20.
He's 20. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Jabulo, you're up next. You're muted.
Okay, hi guys. So my name is Njabulo. I don't like my middle name, so I'm not gonna say it. So I'm Njabulo Ngwenya. And yeah, I'm a father to Lihle, 3 kids. And
Say it with your chest. 3 kids. Say it with your chest.
yeah, I'm a father to 3 kids. And yeah. So what I do, I also do a lot of things. So I do entrepreneur, I do the 9 to 5, also I do development in Java. I also do web development, like website development using WordPress, and yeah, I can do anything. I'm just a hustler. Yeah, but I can't sell drugs, but yeah. Because now I have kids,
Okay.
but yeah.
You said you have
So
3 kids. All boys, all
yeah,
girls, boy, girl.
I have
And how old are they?
I have 2 boys and 1 girl. So The first one is the one that you know, Lihle, he's turning 10 tomorrow. And then that's the firstborn.
Yeah.
And then the second one is turning 4 in December. And then the little girl just turned 1 last month.
My goodness. Ms. Bosa, can you see this? They even remember the birthdays. This is very impressive. Hey, this is so impressive.
Listen, the guys that are here, I'm actually going to even follow them because clearly we've got so much to learn from them.
We've got a lot to learn. Right, Zenati?
Cool. Hi everyone. My name is Zinati. Last name is Bandom. Unlike you in Jeps, I don't have any middle name. Thanks to my parent for that, because it's normally always an English name that they put in there that you might not even like sometimes.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, I'm in the corporate space. Been with basically in the banking space to be specific. Working for Standard Bank. I've been with the bank for, I'll be finishing like what, 10 years this year in June. Yeah. So Father, yeah, you know how time flies. It feels like just yesterday when we were all joining, when we're all joining, and all of that. So I'm a father to a young, beautiful daughter. Her name is Alike, and she just turned 6 on the 21st of June.
Yeah, but that girl is 6 already.
Yeah, she's 6 years now. Independent girl, as she would say.
I thought you were gonna say like she's turning 3 or something. Hey,
no,
must be the last time we spoke. Your son was, I can't even remember, but I think he was in varsity, or he was finishing high school or something.
Yeah, he was finishing high school. So hey, time flies.
Time flies. Let's start off the conversation with this, right? Take us through the first time you heard that you were going to be a parent, and then the first time you met your kids.
Can you see that I'm this dramatic? That's how it feels. Listen, you must understand. I was in varsity at the time, and my parents were very strict. And the one thing they told me was, "We are sending you to school. Do not come back with a child." And then here we are. And then the doctor said to me, "Congratulations, you are pregnant." And I'm like, why is he congratulating me? Does he not know that I'm going to die? You know, like my parents are going to kill me. And honestly speaking, at the time, you can imagine, now I'm even more nervous because I must deal with my parents who are convinced they were going to kill me. And, you know, to answer your question, when you ask him, Guti, how did I feel? I don't want to lie. At the time, it was a catastrophe. It was literally, it was, my world just crashed. The worst that, and I remember at some point when I started having this conversation with my mother, and my mother said to me, "But what did you expect when you with the and then what did you expect was going to happen?" I was like, "But I was on some mudimun to nkulunkulu. You understand?" But I'm not gonna lie. I think the parenting thing for me, it was only when I was pregnant and I started embracing the pregnancy. That's when I started thinking, you know what, I can't wait to meet this person. I started having conversations. We were playing music. My child was reacting to music. And now I felt like, okay, now I'm looking forward to this. As much as it was such a tough time, there was no money, there was like a whole lot of things were not going right. So yeah, that was my first experience. Yeah.
And then when you met him, how did you feel when you met him for the first time?
First of all, this boy child, in my little world, this boy child was supposed to have been a girl child, first of all. So my son's name, guys, I call him my Watu. And I was convinced to no matter what happens, my child is going to be Lerato, right? Needless to say, he's not happy. He's not really happy with the name now, but he was my love. When he was born, I literally started. Look, I couldn't wait to meet him. I think if there was one thing, I was excited about it. I was excited because I'm an only child at home, so it felt like being so young as I was at the time. I was happy to see. Okay, just a backstory. My parents had me when they were old. My mom was 48 years old when she had me. My dad was 50 at the time. So they had about 4 miscarriages before they had me. So by the time, so my pregnancy for myself, it felt like I literally was giving myself a sibling. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
I'm still
Yeah,
young,
yeah,
and
yeah,
here I
yeah.
am. I'm expecting this human being, this mini me,
Mm-hmm.
this doll of mine that is coming to life. So I was super
Mm.
excited when my child was born, because I knew from then on I've got a sibling.
Wow. Okay. That's really, really different. Hey, that's different. Zenati, what,
I
what
know,
about you
right?
when you found out? It's very different. It's very
Listen,
different.
I probably need a podcast of my own of parents that were not expecting to be parents and how, yeah.
I think that goes for all of us. 90% of us, we will be part of the conversation. All right,
Yeah.
Zenati, what about you?
I don't know, to be honest. Let me put it this way. First of all, when the mother of my daughter, shared the news,
Mm.
I wasn't like, sober on the day because we just came back from a year-end function, and it's
Right.
like first week of December, coming back from the year-end, you had like, had to celebrate and all of that. So I'm coming back home and, it's around, I think, almost 3 a.m. early hours of the morning, and I find that she's awake, and I'm like, whoa, why are you still awake at this time? And then she just
Mm.
comes out from the bathroom and she's like, because I've been waiting for you, I couldn't sleep. I have some news. But I'm like, can it be that bad for you not to be able to sleep, or what's going on,
Yeah.
But she
Yeah.
was like, no, whether it depends on how you're going to take the news, whether you're going to take them good or
Sure.
you're going to take them bad. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, she broke the news that, yeah, you're about to be a father and all of that, about to, like,
Mm.
have this family of ours. And at first, like, I didn't know how to react to the news, but I'm like,
Mm.
how do you honestly feel? Because I asked myself, like as I was
Mm.
going to bed, I was really excited, I won't lie, because I mean, the first thing that I did was try to call my older brother, but I was like, during this time, obviously, he won't pick up the call or anything like that. But let me
Yeah.
give him, let me call everyone that sort of crossed my mind to share the news with them.
Mm.
So wakes up in the
Mm.
morning and she had to go to the office. So she's on some. Do you still remember what we spoke about earlier hours of this morning? Yes, I definitely still do. So she left
Yeah.
the house. I was in the house all by myself. Started making all
Mm.
these phone calls, excited. I called my older brother. I called
Mm.
my younger brother. I called my sister. The only
Mm.
person that I never called was my mom, because I was like,
Mm.
okay, I don't know how she's gonna take the news as yet.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, because I mean, at the time I was like, what, 27, but I'm like, okay, I'm
Mm.
working. It's a bit like, I feel like, it's a good time to, like, to have a child. I mean, how
Yeah.
parents can be. If you are young, they will be expecting you, like, asking you so many questions. How are you
Mm.
going to support,
Mm.
how you, and
Mm.
all of that. But at that time, at least, I'm 27, I have a stable job.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, I just want to share the news with her face to face, just to see her face. And
Mm.
I think I was soon going to go home anyway and travel down to the Eastern Cape. And then, yeah, I called my closest friends as well at the time, because I remember a friend of mine had already had a daughter at that time. I think
Mm.
his daughter was like 6 months, at the time that I was finding out that I'm about to be a father. And it's like, no, dude, like, don't even be scared about it. It's just journey that you're
Mm.
definitely gonna enjoy, because I mean, this is something new.
Wow.
And the fact
Wow.
that you're
Okay.
excited, it doesn't, like, it shows, like, the fact that you are already excited without, like,
Yeah.
you haven't met this person,
Yeah.
but you're already excited, letting everybody know. It's a good sign that, you're really gonna, like, you're really gonna enjoy this journey and all of that. So yeah, that's how I
Yeah.
found out. And then the process to meet her, I won't lie, it was stressful. First
Yeah.
of all, now
Okay.
there are these finances,
Wait. Did you just say stressful?
like in going, like in meeting up, like before she was born, because it was stressful in a sense that we didn't expect her to come as a premature, first of all, because my daughter was born as a prep. So her mom, going through, like, being admitted in hospital a couple of times, only to find out, okay, cool, these are false alarms, and all of that. It was like a bit of a stressful journey like that. Can you guys hear me? I see that none of you
Yes, we can.
or anything
We
like
can.
that. I still, like, Lihle is still stuck in there, so I'm not sure whether it's a connection or what.
I think you must just keep talking. We are hearing you.
Okay, yeah. So I remember the one time, because I had to relocate down to Durban for, for work. So I got this call this one night, that a baby is about to be born, but I'm like, no, it's not time yet. And imagine you are in Durban and now you have to try, like, because I got that phone call, I think it was around 8 a.m. in the morning. I just woke. In fact, the phone call woke me up from a best friend saying that, you, dude, we're rushing to the hospital. We think that, the baby's coming. Now you have to rush, go and find flights, all of that in one day and all of yeah. So that was the first thing that I'm like, I cannot miss this moment with whatever that's going on, because I mean, it's something that, we've spoken about, that I'm going to be there, when the baby comes and all of that. So yeah, got onto the airport, but I was lucky enough to find an afternoon flight, but I was still panicking the fact that, I mean, these people called me early in the morning and I'm still here. And I think I only left Durban like in the afternoon after 12 or something like that. But now you get here, Gautrain, Uber to 4 ways, and all of that. So, but I think I was lucky enough, because by the time that I was on a Gautrain, because I had to take a Gautrain to Sandton and Uber from Sandton to 4 ways, yeah. So on my way on the Gautrain, the bestie calls again to say, actually, it was a false alarm. That's when I sort of like, okay, okay. But I was like, okay, cool. I'll see you guys in a few. I'm already on my way. So yeah, I got to the house, and then they sort of explained to me, that it turns out that it was a false alarm. But so I decided to stay for like a week just to make sure that nothing happens, like if I'm not around and all of that. Yeah. So, and I also had the opportunity to work in the Rosebank office. So at least in the morning I'll just travel to the Rosebank office and know that I'm around. I'm not that far. So yeah, we had a couple of those. So that was the first time that she got this first alarm. I think it was around the 16th of June. Yeah, somewhere around the 16th. So yeah, 17th of June, I think 18th. Like woke up around like 12 a.m. and there's no one next to me, so I'm panicking where she could be, and then only to realize that she's in the bathroom, and then she's telling me that she thinks that it's time. I'm like, but we just came back from the hospital. You guys just came back from the hospital, and it was a false alarm, and now again. But panicking like that, drove off to the hospital. We get there, all that waiting period, with the nurses and doctors assessing, and all of that. And that night, nothing happened. No baby.
Again.
Again. So the doctors decided that, okay, cool. They're going to keep her for a couple of days, just to make sure that, if it's something that's really going to happen, it must be something that happens while, she's already there in the hospital. So I think they kept her for like 3 days, because around the 19th, she was discharged, which was fine. Still no baby. We come back home. I'm like, okay, I think I'm just going to spend the rest of the month here in Joburg just to make sure, I'm around, because now it looks like, we're not sure when the baby's going to come. So came back 19th, 20th. Everything is fine. She's good, and lucky enough, her older sister was around as well, to make sure that I'm not all by myself in this whole entire situation with her sister. So yeah, we're chilling, all good times. And then 20th came as well, and then I think it was on the 20th, midnight 20th. Now it's the 21st of June. Same thing happens. Now I'm driving like a maniac to the hospital. Yeah. Okay. I'm telling you, that's how traumatic this little queen was. driving to the hospital, got there, but okay, cool. This time around, the baby is coming, and now I'm panicking. I don't even know, like, what am I gonna say? Like, she's tiny, like, and all of that, because she's a prem. But I was even scared to hold it the first time, because, and then the nurse on the delivery room was like, "Daddy, you must come and cut the umbilical cord yourself. No one else is gonna do it, because you are here in the room and you are the guy, So I had to get the strength first of all to cut the umbilical cord, but it was a feeling that it was something that I've never felt before, and sometimes it's really hard to explain, how you really feel. At the same, you're excited, but at the same time you're scared, because I think part of the reason that I was sort of scared in that process, I mean, this person is here now, dude, you're about to be a father. Well, you are a father now. I think my biggest fear was failing her, was failing her. So yeah, that's how I was introduced to my daughter, with all of those back and forths and all of that. Yeah. But yeah, eventually here she is, a little princess.
Sure, you went through a lot, eh?
I know.
You went through a lot, but I have to say it's refreshing to hear a man's side of the story. Njabule, let's hear your story also. When you met your son for the first time, I'm sure with the other two was much more easier, but when you met the first one for the first time, what was the process? What went through your mind? What were your emotions?
No, it does not get easy. It's a new person. So there is a say that says there is no kid that have the same parent. So
Okay.
it does not get easy. It's always a
Oh,
unique
yeah.
experience. Yeah.
Yes.
So with my first one, so for all my 3 kids, I was there when they were born, in the labor room, actually, when they were born. Yeah. So the first one was natural birth, the second one was cessation, and the third one was natural birth. So yeah,
Guys,
was
I
there.
love this. You guys even know all the terms and everything. You're like cutting umbilical cords. What is this?
Yeah.
I
So
love
what
it.
happened was it was also nerve-wracking, man. So it's not an easy thing. So the first one, I was at university. I was doing my final year, and so Miss P, you and I, we're sharing very very much a lot in common. So I was also in university. It was nerve-wracking. So my mom is like old. So I think she's turning 81 this year.
Wow.
So
Oh, okay.
yeah, you can imagine. So
Okay.
I'm a very different generation. So to tell her that you have someone, you impregnated someone is not an easy thing. So yeah, so what I did as well, I just called my sisters just to let them know there's someone that's coming in. So my mom, I was home, and then she said, no, you need to drop off the university now because now you have someone, and then I send you to university to do this, and then you do the other things. And yeah, so the pregnancy everything was fine, man. I'm not gonna lie, everything was fine, it was smooth. And then there comes the day of the labor. I was still at university at that time, so they were writing like special exams, and yeah, told me. So we went there to Groteskir, and then the baby was there, and then it was not an easy thing, man. It's like it's very you always nervous because you don't know what's gonna happen because there's a lot of things that happen. Some other kids they were born without like abnormal kids. You don't know what to expect, and yeah, it's difficult, man. But yeah, I was just happy I was there. The first time you see that this person is breathing and it's you just you. And another thing, for me, so when a kid is born and still worried, man, like is the kid gonna look like you? And my child was very white. Like, okay.
You're like, what is this?
I was worried, like, okay, okay, the mom is white, but I was like, okay, what's gonna like, yeah, man. So yeah, the second one was actually more of a husband now because so I dated my wife now, which was my girlfriend then for 3 months, and then we moved on to together just after 3 months, and then we've been together now for 6 years, I think. So yeah, the second one was also a bit of a challenge where because she was not my wife, she was still my girlfriend then, and then I have to go back home now to say I have another child and a different girl, and still, yeah. So I didn't tell my mom up until she was, I think, 6 months pregnant, and then I just broke the news. As uneasy it was, but it was much more easy now because now I was working and I was more of like a mature dude now. I know how to pave my way around conversations and all that. Yeah, and so I knew that this one's gonna be my wife, so I didn't have a problem to tell them like, okay, fine, she's pregnant, and this is the way of maybe paying the damages and all those kind of things. But yeah, so The exciting part, I was also there on the labor room, but this one, it was very fun, man. So I took a video of her giving birth, although she doesn't want to watch the video. But I released most of the time. I had some other dudes, because we have conversation as men to say, okay, fine. If you are there in the labor room when your child is born, you will have like issues when you have intimacy issues. I never had.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
never had one.
Oh,
I
wow.
never.
No, but it shows
Yeah,
that
I,
the
I
level is
even
strong.
repeat the video. Nah, man, I think it's just a state of mind. It's not a real thing, because
True.
I
Yeah,
was
whatever that
there
you
when both
believe
my
in, yeah.
kids. Yeah, it's just a state of mind, man. So I was there when my kids were born. I watched everything, man. Like the natural pet, I watched everything, took videos. It never affected me anyhow. Even the
Wow.
sexual intimacy, it's
Wow.
fine, man. Just cut umbilical cord. But the last one, it was a bit of a challenge. The girl one. I think maybe from your stories in Snatty, it's a bit of, maybe girls are dramatic, because we also had challenge. So she had contractions at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then she gave birth at 2 o'clock the next morning.
Yo.
Ew.
Yeah, like we were
Ew.
there the whole time. Like she had contractions, she was like screaming, crying, like you can imagine. I don't see now.
Yeah.
Another thing, and now I was working, and then when I called work, like, yo, now I have this situation. I said, no, it's DR. You are the only person that needs to take care of this, blah blah blah. And I had to be on my phone. So around 11, lucky enough, the thing just we finished with the DR, and then I just focused on my wife. Yeah, she had contractions for the next 3 hours again. Finally, around 2 o'clock, baby girl was born. This one day, she was very dark. Like I was okay, this one is me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man.
I just want to
So,
apologize. Go for it, Jabula, go for it.
no. I'm just saying. So that's my story, Lisa. I'm not sure if you which part did you or did you pick up, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's a fun experience,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's different, man. Anyhow, it's different. You'll see when you have your second child. You say, when are you planning to have a second child?
Next
I'm not sure if
question.
you planned that.
So,
Moving right
look,
along.
look. I think from a woman's perspective, ne, I would like to have more kids, but I'll be honest with you, I'd like to have more kids with less pregnancies. So if I want to have 2 kids more, I would like to have twins. I'm not willing to go through the whole process twice again. I'm not willing to do that, right? There's too much going on
Why?
during pregnancy. There's a lot going on. The complications that you guys just mentioned, it's that. I think for me, my son, I didn't have much of complications with my pregnancy. I think it only started showing like around 7 months. I didn't have your cravings, all those things. It was just a smooth pregnancy. But what did traumatize me a bit with my son is that he had a delay in speech. So he only started speaking full sentences at the age of 5, turning 6, right? And so you can imagine what that did to me emotionally and financially, right? So I was just like, nah, I'm not willing to go through that again. I'm still healing from that, but it doesn't mean that I no longer want more kids. I still want more kids. Just the process is also, let's be honest, this whole diaper changing and waking up early in the morning, you have to do it twice again. I know, let's just do it once off, just once. The potty training, everything just once. There's a lot that goes on, guys. Let me ask you guys this question. It's a lot. It's a lot. Can I ask you guys this question? So
Yeah.
now you have your kids. Did you have a parenting style? Do you have a parenting style? Especially you, Miss Boza, it's a boy and you're female. How do you go about it? Zenati and Jabulu, you guys have girls, but you are men. How do you go about it? Take me through your parenting style. Miss B, you can start.
Yeah, Lihle, for Mina. Now you must understand, like I mentioned, was an only child at home. And so it means I haven't seen anyone bringing up anyone in the house.
Ooh,
I was the one.
wow,
I was the child.
okay.
I was the children of the house.
Yes.
So I was the one that was brought up. So the only thing, and remember also, I told you that there was a huge generational gap between myself and my parents. So that's also another thing that says to me, because I'm having a child of the now, I need to parent my own way, right? And
Right,
I was
right,
also a
right.
single parent added to that. So
Yes.
it meant that
Yes.
I'm with this child all alone. And it means I have to be soft, but I also need to be hard because I'm trying to give this child the best of both worlds. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Yeah.
my parenting style is simple. In fact, I think when I look back, I realized that I became the parent that I wanted from my parents. Do you understand?
Man,
Because
don't we
I'm
all?
telling you, I became the parent
Yeah.
that I wanted from my parents. With my
Yeah.
parents, and I don't blame them. I do not blame my parents at all, because I understand there was a huge generational gap. So
Right.
they were parenting the way they were brought up, which means
Right.
you have no rights. You have no rights. You have no
Oh,
words. You have
yes,
no
yes,
voice.
yes.
We tell you what a girl is supposed to look like, how a girl is supposed to
Okay.
behave. We tell you what career you're going to take. Basically, we tell you everything. And yours is not to even ask questions, to ask, but why? When you ask why, they tell you it is so. That's it. Like
Right.
you can't even have feelings. You can't even say, this is how I feel right now.
Yeah.
And because
Yeah.
of that, I said I was going to be exactly that I needed for my son. So
Okay.
we since forever, like, obviously I'm very playful, I'm very playful. So I've been playful with my child, but I've always drawn the line to say, yes, I am your friend, but I'm also your
Yes.
parent. And I hear people
Yes.
saying, you must don't be friends with your children so that you
Yes.
emphasize the rules and whatnot. But I can tell you the
Right.
one thing that has worked for me was the fact that
Yeah.
I became like literally I could identify with him as a child. So when he wants to play, we play. In fact, outright initiate the play. And even as he was growing, like my big parenting thing is I do not fight. In fact, not even parenting, because I think this is my everyday life. I do not
Right.
fight people. I do not fight people. I fight
Right.
situations. So that's how also I
Absolutely.
brought up my child to say, you will do wrong things and I will reprimand you. But also, when you do good things, I will tell you and I will appreciate you. We can fight now and tell you that no, like no, this is wrong, you can't, and all that kind of drama. But when we're done talking, you're apologizing, you're saying, okay, mommy, I understand, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done this, that. Then I'm like, okay, sharp. So we understand. Next time when this happens, what does it mean? Then he tells me if I'm in agreement, then we move on. I'm like, dude, go get ice cream. We've been talking since forever. Let's go eat, So and I think because also I was growing up with my child, I also made him to grow up faster because I'm handling everything all on my own. But now, because I've got him, I would have to share with him and say, Nana, we're having a bad month, a bad financial month. Or, oh, you know what, Popile, we've got money, let's go. And it would be interesting to see how, after I've said to him, we don't have money, we're trying to save money for this, that. And then Mina Futi, I'll go with him to the mall and I'd be like, we can get Wimpy. And then he'd be like, no, mom, you said we do not have money. All this that you see at Wimpy, can go make at home. You know what I mean? So it was super nice. And to the point that even when I lost my dad in 2005, when I lost my mom in 2012, this child was my sibling, guys.
Wow.
This child, like I had somebody that I could say, you know what, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. And you and I must be strong. When people come, this is what we're gonna do, and whatever. And I would watch this child literally being my man in black, literally here with me and saying, don't forget, we said this is what we're gonna do. So my parenting style is simple. I've got a friend. At this point, because he's 20 and all, I've got a friend, I've got a boyfriend. Well, not boyfriend, but I've got a boyfriend that I can talk to about everything. I mean, this is the child that I've taught this is what's going to happen when you start dating, type of thing. You know what I mean? So we are cool to the point that even when I am even when I'm with somebody, I'm able to say, hey, dude, this is what's happening in my life. And then he's like, no, we can't You understand? So it's a very cool relationship. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's very wholesome. Hey, that's very wholesome. So Freddie's here, guys. Hi Fred. We're just gonna please just ask you to turn on your mic and introduce yourself. Tell us how many kids you have. Is it boys? Is it girls? And then the question that we're answering now is just basically what's your parenting style? And maybe you can just go ahead and tell us what your parenting style is to your kids.
Okay. Firstly, let me start by apologizing to you and the panel and also your viewership. I really struggled with the tech. My Zoom wanted me to log in, and I had not logged into Zoom for I don't know how many years. So trying to get that password, I thought the meeting ID and the password of the meeting would be enough, but yeah, it proved me wrong. So my apologies, fellow panelists, and to you, the hosts and the viewers. Yeah,
no stress. We are here now.
Yeah, I hope this won't be the only conversation you have. I promise next time I'll be on time and we can engage more deeply and fruitfully. Yeah, my name is actually Fred. Lihle did know me through my TikTok page, which I run, and I basically just post about me and my kids as a means to not only have a record of my kids and myself journey, but to also inspire other parents to be present for their children, you know, and also to share the struggles and to share the wins as well.
Can I just say this, Fred? The present
Yes.
part is for the fathers. The mothers don't have a choice, hey? Whether we like it or we don't, we are there from day one, from conception.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. There are absent mothers.
So,
They are.
I'd like
They
to
are.
hear about that. I'd like to hear about that.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Fred.
They are absent mothers, but definitely the overwhelming majority, probably 1% of parents will be absent mothers compared to absent fathers. So it's better to focus our energies on the larger group, on the group that makes a difference. You know, the difference that's currently needed in our society is father presence. Yeah, so for me, my parenting style is based on love and you know, loving the other person, being basically things like kind and caring, being good to other people, because I believe goodness, if we spread goodness and love, I think that can work out. So how my kids react when, let's say, they do something bad, they hate disappointing me because I've showered them with this point of love that they always want to do good by me. I try my best not to be overwhelmingly strict or you know, hitting them, what they call corporal punishment. That is very limited. It's only on extreme cases that I ever go that route, but mostly it's love and also a reward system. You know, if they do good, I reward them with something good. For instance, you know, we went through a year together without a nanny or any helper within our space. We were cleaning and doing things together. So after a year, I'm like, now, okay, you guys now deserve to focus energy on other things. I then got them a nanny and a helper, someone to take over those roles. But also, I do expect them to now pick up on other of their strengths, like in school, science and technology projects that I expect them to do. I expect them to also be good and kind to to other people, to when we visit family and friends, it should be evident that they know the importance of keeping things tidy, the importance of making your own bed, the importance of requesting to say, hey, can I help with the dishes? Elements such as that. But yeah, sorry, I'm all over the place, but it's not an easy question, though it sounds like an easy question. It's not an easy question about parenting style, because sometimes it also depends with situation. I mean, with the situation, the context. But for now, with my oldest son, he's be turning 13 in a few weeks' time, so he's becoming a teenager. As he grows up, I start to loosen up as well, to let him do things that he wants to do. For now, like he's chosen that now he wants to go to this particular high school. I've allowed that. I've gone and applied for him, and he's been accepted. So, starting to slowly give him a bit of autonomy as I see that he's becoming more responsible. So that's it in a nutshell. Yeah.
All right. So that's very interesting. Hey, kindness, and I think just in my opinion, I think most parents are not intentional about love and kindness. They just assume that you should be, and your kids should be kind. They should be, up until they are not. Then you start with the lesson. So I really that's a really nice perspective. Zenati, well, what's your parenting style? And then Jabulo, you can just tell us your parenting style also.
Cool. Thank you for that. That was pretty much, a very mouthful. So I sort of have like a similar parenting style. With me, I think the most one important thing, when it comes to my daughter, is to just really show, unconditional love. In a sense that you just make sure as a father that, she's loved and she's valued for who she really is, So for me, that's like, the one most important thing. And also have like, be able to have like, those open communication sort of a relationship. I mean, as young as she is, I mean, she's only 6, but you would swear I'm talking to like a 10-year or a 12-year-old whenever that, we're having conversation or sitting down. And I mean, if you're not open during those conversations, obviously the older they grow, they're going to realize, that something was missing, But if you start establishing that sort of like, open communication or sort of open relationship now, at least the older she grows, the more she understands. I mean, she already understands, what communication or good communication is. But the more you instill it, the better it gets instilled on her, the older she grows, And also sort of be a good learner, Sorry, a good listener, if I may put it, that way, kids sometimes like, well, kids are like are emotional in general, especially like from a young age, as like so you must always be in a position, to be able to validate her emotions as young as she is, and with you validating like her emotions, also just make sure, they go through different experiences at a young age, these days. But yeah, just be open without, being judgmental, because I mean, kids sometimes bazokanga nje, anytime that they want. But be in a position, to be lenient. Teach them love. I think that's the most like, also another most important thing, so that, if they go out, I mean, obviously your kid won't always be with you all the time, but if they understand, what love is, or they've been shown, some unconditional love, they'll be able to go and like, sort of deliver that to another individual, whether it's at school or someone that, that they meet, and then just also be kind, and just be mindful about, the other person's emotions. And I think it sort of grooms you as well to be nice as well, to the other individual, to the outside world. But there is a little bit of side of me of being soft, I mean that half of the time she knows if she wants something, which which party to run to, because with me, she like, if I know, okay, cool, you want this. She knows that, okay, daddy, if I ask daddy this, daddy is going to like definitely, sort of like give me, all the time. But with mommy, there's a little bit of, no, you can't. And then, and all of that. But with me, I mean, I think I've sort of grown that side of me being soft, because I always want to make sure that she gets everything. But, sometimes if you do that, obviously it's going to get to a point where she just thinks, oh, everything just comes easy and all of that. But there has to be that boundary whereby now she starts learning, you daddy, as much as, if I'm running to daddy, daddy's going to do that for me. But there has to be a point whereby you draw the line, not sort of like a strict line or anything like that, but that boundary to let her know that you can't always get what you want, Sometimes it's either you just go for it, or you get it when you know that you definitely deserve it. Not just for the sake of getting it, just because, daddy said yes. So that's where I'm at with my daughter. Yeah.
Wow. You guys are very inspiring. My goodness. Sure. Okay, Njabula? Njabula, it should be interesting for you, and if you don't mind, maybe you can also just take us through the difference between parenting your daughter and your sons. Is it the same? Is it or not?
Oh, okay. So like I said earlier on, so there is a quote that I like. It's from Jordan Peterson. So it's actually there is no child, or when you're raising these kids, Lihle, there is no child that is raised by the same family, or by raising by the same parents, right? So what I mean by that is that all the kids. So for me, I went different stages when I have my kids. There's a time where I was not working, I had to hustle and all this stuff. So I've realized that in when you're having a child, so it also has something to do with your personal development. At what stage of the relationship, what economic position are you into? So that child will also invoke a different part of you as a parent, and you as a parent, you will also respond different, or you will have different characters to your children. So that's one. It's a boy child, or it's a girl child. So either way, so which is not a question of how do you respond to a boy or a girl, but it depends on your personal development as a person. Where are you in a stage, for instance, financially, economically? That's one that I've noticed as a parent. And then there's this quote that we normally say, is an African quote that says it takes a village to raise a child. So that will scale their brain development, their stress responses, decision making, how to make decisions. So you have to take that to your house to say, now, as a human, first of all, I have to show my kids that as an adult, I'm also a human. For instance, I show them, I apologize when I'm wrong. I thank them when they do right. I ask them if I want them to do something for me. Just a second, I need to put my badge on.
Okay, no stress. Just while we're waiting for Njabulo, talking about apologizing, eh? So I asked my son to do something, and then he was wrong. So I shouted at him. So in my eyes, he's wrong, right? Then in his eyes, I'm wrong for shouting at him. Ne? So now this guy is demanding an apology. He's like, no, but you must say sorry. You mustn't say it like that. Okay, but how should I say it? You must say it like this. I'm like, okay, but you must apologize first. Then he apologizes. Then when I apologize, he says to me, your apology will only be accepted if you give me a hug. I'm like, oh my God, how can you irritate me and be so cute at the same time?
No, that's very beautiful, Lisa. And you as a parent, you should also open up to learn things from your kid, because you remember your kid is not only your kid, it's a part of you that some of the things that were suppressed, or some of your emotions are suppressed. So there's this so I like to go through this parenting. There's a book that I was reading. So there's this thing, when your parents, or if you take your kid to boarding school as a parent, they will tend to love friends more than family. So that's one thing. So kids, so it's a research that we made. I can share the links with you, because the kid now, all the emotions that he needed from you, he got it somewhere else, and then now he tends to love those people, and then they're making them part of his life. Now he's friend centered. like you have, like for me, as I will talk for myself, like me, I grew up as a child who liked the street. I'm a very smart person, so I love my friends. I would always go home, and then there was one time a friend of mine who asked me to say, okay, when you're coming back from Cape Town and then you go home, are you there to see your parent or your friends? And that question hit me so hard. Like, okay, why do you love the street so much than spending time at home? Because now I haven't seen my parents for 6 months, but I'm still going around with friends. And then I realized, okay, fine, the emotion that I need, all these emotion losses or the mistakes that my parents made were covered by my friends. So now I'm growing up to feel that from my kids to say, like you said, Zinat, kids are very manipulative. They are very manipulative. So you need to be smart with them.
Yes.
So from my boys, so the boys are more, because I've also learned like boys are going through a lot, but I focus more to the girls because it's natural to me to protect my girl, because now I'm thinking I don't want to lose that focus to focus more on the girls and then say, oh no, the boys are figuring it out. So I will try to balance the emotions. Okay, as much as these ones are more manipulative, I need to balance the two to say, okay, fine, you guys, this is where you draw the line. This is where she draw the line. But I have to make it look equally to them. You understand? So for instance, if you have like a 10-year-old, let's say a 15-year-old guy, you have 500 meters shop, you can send the guy to say, okay, go fetch something for me. But the girl, the world is not so kind to girls, so you always think about all those kind of decisions. So you don't want this boy child to question you why, because child are not parents, they don't understand these things, to say why now you always send me to this place, but this one is always laying around doing nothing and all this kind of thing. So I try to balance the two, but most of all, I try not to have my kids suppressing their emotions. So I like how your kid is with you, Lihle. So you don't have to have your kid to question you. So it's always good kids to question you. Yesterday I was with my son, so I took him to Rossbank to play games there. So like it was midnight, yeah. So there's a red robot. So normally at midnight I don't stop at the red robots because of this hijacking and all those kind of things. So I just drive, I just look if it's safe, I drive, right? Especially on weekends. So now this guy says, but the robot is red. Why do you pass the robot that is red? So I like it because it's questioning my decision making, and that's very important. You see, so it's a tricky one, Lihle, to check. Like Fred, it's a very diverse question, but in a nutshell, that's how I try to maneuver around this thing, the boys. And unfortunately for me, I have different baby mamas, and then now, but I also try to have the balance to say, I don't want this one kid, the older one, to say, no, now you're looking out. So whenever I buy them clothes, I would always bring them together, do the same thing. Whenever I do something, like they have to know that they are brothers, and there is no difference in front of my eyes. They are the same thing. So although they are not the same, because like I said, so kids, they evoke different part of you as parent, and you also gonna different to them because of a lot of like I said, the economic position, the stage of your relationship, your personal development. For instance, I got my first child, the son. I was younger then. Now I know better, and this one will know a different part of me. Not to say the other one will not see that side, but if he before I was trying to be a strict parent, now you think, okay, fine, I'm used to this one. But it's because I've learned and I'm also growing as a person. So that's how I tackle these things. But these things, there's no formula to it, man. So it's as tricky as it is. We try to push it through, and but I'm enjoying myself, man. I can't lie. Like I'm the happiest person. Even on my down moments, I had some crazy moments in my life. But because of these kids, I'm always on top of my game. Yeah.
Funny you talk about the red robot story, ne? I think one of the things I've learned from my son is to keep my word. Whether I say I'm going to beat you or otherwise, you keep your word. Otherwise, if you just keep saying, and I think also we have a tendency of saying things to bluff them so that we can get away with certain things. And then it ends up being a point where they don't believe anything that you say anymore, right? If you bluff too much. So I've learned to just keep my word. If I'm saying I'm going to hit you, I'm not going to say it twice. The next time you do something, I will hit you. If I say we are going out for a movie, I have to make it happen, right? And if maybe the means, whether I don't have the time or whether the finances are not okay, it's my responsibility to communicate that with him so that he can know that, so that he can trust me, basically, you know?
Yeah.
And I found that, like, these kids will teach you things about yourself, like you said, Njabulo. But before we go, this is what I want to ask you guys, right? So Fred has 2 boys, Zenati has a girl, Miss B has a 20-year-old boy, and maybe she's gonna give us more insights on this one. And then Njabulo, you have a bit of both, right? When it comes to dating, are you guys thinking about that? Like, when your kids get to that point where they want to date, are you preparing them for that? Are you going to talk to them about the truths about dating, especially if you're a guy and you know how dating is for girls, right? Is that something you want to teach your kids? And then if, like Fred, you have 2 boys, maybe there are some experiences that you've had in your dating life and you want to caution your boys, and must be, you know how women can be, how manipulative and how pretentious they can be, you know.
Can I tell you?
Please go for it. Please go for it.
Can I just share with you? So my son and I were in a routine where if it's his birthday, I take him out. But obviously at the time, at the time he was obviously still growing and stuff like that. And then when he got to high school, towards the end of his high school, I remember he said to me, "This year I'm able to take you out. I'm ready. I'm going to take you out this." And then I was like, okay, all right, cool. The 18th of June is coming. So are you ready? Like literally 2 months before, I kept on asking him, "Usho, Ushap, who's over ready, right?" And then he's like, "No, I'm ready. I'm taking you out. Anywhere you want to go to, I cover. I'm the guy." Then I said, okay, cool.
Wow.
The 18th came, and I said to him, okay, so we're gonna leave at this time and whatever. And guy comes out of his room, he's dressed like, I don't know, like we are just going to the mall. And then I was like, no, guy, you said you're taking me out for dinner. So if you're taking me out for dinner, you need to dress accordingly. You need to look nice. So it means long pants or jeans is fine, but you need to look nice on top, and you need to comb your hair nicely. You're taking me out, Pella, you're my date now today. And then he agrees. He's like, okay, he's like, what am I gonna wear? I'm like, okay, let's help you choose. So I helped him choose, and then we go out. Guess what? I was made reservations at the Senton Sun Hotel. Because anyway, every time I've taken him out, I'll take him to like your Melrose Arc, like I'll take him to very nice places, because my view is what we are able to do for girl children, and we are teaching girl children that it's important for them to know the nice things. I also need to do that for my boy child. He needs to learn these things from me, so that he doesn't tomorrow meet up with maybe an older woman, because that's a thing now. Maybe an older woman who's going to say, okay, I'm going to take you places, I'm going to teach you things, right? Fine. Then we get to Senton Sun. Obviously, there's like 2 of us in the entire hotel. And then we walk in, and then they usher us in, they sit us there, and they're like, would you like something to drink? And then they give us menus and whatever. And then my son opens the menu. Shock of his life, the meals there are like 1.5 million. Hey, my son looks at me, he's like, Mom. That's what he said. He's like, Mom. I'm like, yeah, no. Can I have a glass of water? Can I have this, that? And then I'm like, yes. But like, you know, and I knew what the problem was. He's like, Mom, can I be honest? I don't think I can afford it here, right? And then I'm like, no, but you can't tell me that. You can't say that to me. You say to me, I must take you. You are taking me to anywhere I want to go. And it's like, yeah, Mom, but I thought maybe you're going to say we must go to Rokomama's. Maybe we must go to McDonald's. Like, I did not think it was. And then I said, I said, don't worry. I got this. When are you paying for whatever that you can? But I got this. And then I told him that moral of the story, why I did what I did to him, was because I wanted to teach him, because he's going to go into dating. And when he dates, he needs to know that he can't just say to a girl, I'll take you just about anywhere, when I just bring yourself. Because the next thing, The next thing that goes off today, they bring their friends. Yeah, they take you to like.
Sorry to interrupt. I have to say, I admire that too.
Yeah.
That's a good.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you. But I did that to him, and we sat there, and I used it to show him how he could have gotten himself into trouble without. And it's interesting because I know his girlfriend now. It's interesting how I watch him with a girlfriend, and he always tells me that, you know, mom, based on what you told me, what you taught me, if I've got 500 rands or if I've got 200 rands, but I do feel like going out, I always tell Tato that, Tato, kinali 200 rand. So let's go out. I just don't want to be at home today. So the point I'm trying to make is, unfortunately, it's one of the lessons that we have to teach our children about dating, and especially because the dating right now is not even normal. You know, things need to be told, and even the issues about sex and all that. You can just agree with a girl. You can just agree with a girl that you're going out as a boy. That you're going out, and then the next morning the girl wakes up and is asking for money. The girl is, you understand? So those are things that when I am a parent, you cannot act like these are things that don't happen. Me as a girl child, because I am a girl child, me as a girl child, I have to tell my child how girls also think, so that you know, we try to also bridge that gap, because our parents, for example, they never taught us about dating, and then you found out things when you are pakati. So I'm trying to teach my child to understand women, to also understand when she says this, she probably means this, you know, and to explain the most important, that, for example, women are emotional beings, and men, most, they're not even, they think more than they feel, you know what I mean? Like, or they let us believe that they think more than they feel. So it is very important for us to have those conversations, dating conversations, and advices for that matter, with our children.
As you're saying that now, I'm just thinking about how at home I never saw my parents fighting, ne? So then when I got into a relationship and a fight broke out, I'd be like,
what's
okay,
going
I don't know
on?
what to do. What's going on? And again, they didn't sit down with me and say, okay, this is how you resolve issues. It's just hamba pambi luzos born, but when things go left, only then do they sit you down, right? Fred, what about you? What are you telling your boys? I'm really interested. What are you telling your boys about girls and women?
Again, that space is tricky business, because you know, nowadays cartoons have dating in them. They're different from some of the cartoons I grew up watching cartoons about saving the planet, you know, Voltron, shooting each other. Now cartoons have boyfriends and girlfriends. So it's important conversations to have with the boy child. And recently I actually asked my son, you know, can I date? And he says, can he responded by asking if he can start dating, and he's 12. You know, so I'm like, okay, let me not touch on that conversation. I need to just tell him a few things about dating, things to be aware of, you know, because it's, you know, it's now difficult to determine who's genuine and who's not. And many are dating for survival nowadays, you know. So what I've told my son is that in the dating world, normally women will choose you. Well, good women will choose you for your potential for the future. And whereas as a guy, usually guys make choices based on the woman's past, you know. So there's so it has to be aware.
Yo, don't say. Don't say. I'm sorry to interject, guys. And we're a bit over time there, but can we please just take about 10 to 15 minutes? This is really interesting. You see, this is the problem. You men don't talk, so we don't know what to do. Right? We don't know what to do. Please just talk. We want to know.
No, you see that the thing is when men talk, they're usually labeled. We can't say anything right. Even just that statement which I've just said, people will take it their own. Someone will interpret it their own way and turn it into a negative. But for the most part, men are more interested in a woman's past than they are in the future, whereas women are more interested in a man's future than they are in their past. That's why women are more forgiving about a man's past and want to know, okay, does he have potential? That's why women will ask each other, what does he do? Before even how does he look like? It's like, you're asking your friends, okay, what does he do? What does he drive? All those questions are not necessarily that women are gold digging, but they're looking at potential. Is this a person that will be family oriented and stuff like that?
Men do that now.
Yeah. Well, with this drizzle now coming
drizzle.
But yeah, so for me, I tell my sons to you need to strike a balance. Both a past and a future is actually quite important, because you need to choose a woman who you can build a future with, who you have shared values with, who is a kind and caring person. And you need to be aware of those that just want you to survive. Once you start hearing things of girlfriend allowance, I would advise my son, you know what, stay away. Those who like girlfriend allowance, they're good for guys with money and they want side chicks, because from the men's side, most guys who give that girlfriend allowance have got multiple girls, because it means that they can afford that. I don't know what type of future one will be building with someone like that, but I think it's all based on upbringing as well. I usually watch there's that TikTok family, Muzanzi's Greatest Family.
Yes.
I don't know if you follow them. There's a day the dad was advising the daughter to say, you do not ask a man, if you need money, you come home and you come and ask me. In other words, he's pushing his daughter to look for something more than a survival from a man, because that's essential for building a future, for maintaining a bond. Similarly, my son, I'll tell him, look for something more than just beauty. Beauty and a beautiful body, it doesn't take you far. Yes, it attracts you to the woman, but it doesn't go the long road. You need the character, you need the values that you need to share to build that future with a future partner. So it's not all about looks. Yes, they start off the attraction, but they cannot maintain a relationship. But for now, no dating for them. They'll date once they can afford their own roof. When they're out of my house, that's when they can start dating. That's my message to him. So if he does it, it will be under my nose. Not that I'll punish him if I find out. I mean, eventually they will do it, but he will know that if he plans to take things seriously, he'll need to start thinking of a future first, because to be a high value man, you need to have first worked on your future plans before you find a partner. Yeah.
Right. Love it. Zinati, this is different for you because it's a girl. It's a girl. What do you tell your girls, Zinati?
Say that again, Lihle. I mean, honestly, it's one of those conversations, to have, knowing what's already going on out there, and being a guy, sometimes, you sort of know how gents are, especially, youngsters, how they think, how they look at things, But the one thing that I'm truly trying to instill to her now, like at a very young age, is for her not to get impressed, like with materialistic things. That's the first thing.
Right.
And also anything that another man might impress you by, which is something that materialistic, which is not something genuine, it can never be something that she always looks forward to. I mean, now I'll be doing simple things for her, like going on a date with her, so that it's something that gets instilled at home, so that she knows if a man comes to me like whenever and then tries to impress me by that, it's not something that's going to really impress me. What else can you,
Right.
can you give me besides that? Buying flowers, it's all the stuff that I do for her, yeah, like those are the sort of like basic things, like I may say, that I'm trying to instill to her, so that if she goes out there, and then someone else tries to impress her by those things, it's something that, I already know that, Daddy has done this or does this for me. What is it that's different, that you're going to bring into my life, so that, we can establish that, okay, cool, this is something that this is where we're going and all of that. And I mean, at this point, it's conversation, and sometimes she'll make jokes, or if she makes it like, I mean, she's mostly friends in school with boys, and then on her birthday, her mom is on some, did you tell Daddy that you now have a boyfriend? And the way that she looked at her mom, she was like, no, mommy, that's not true. That's my friend. The Daddy, mommy's not telling the truth. Not telling the, but sometimes, with what Fred has mentioned, I mean, they get exposed to so many of these things like at a very young age. I mean, cartoons are the stuff that they watch on YouTube or TikTok or whatever that's out there on the access that they have to social media. It's not conversations that you can really run away from. You have to have those conversations, because if you're trying to run away from them, obviously now these are the things that will be done behind your back, and then you won't be, you won't know about. I would prefer, to be honest, whenever that she starts dating, I'm aware of that, and it's something that we can sit down and have a conversation about, instead of just ignoring it, so that whenever she needs advice, obviously she'll be dating him. Well, I don't care whether it's a woman or a boy that she's gonna date or anything like that. I'm that type of parent. I won't lie. So that I mean, it's we're able to sit down and have conversation and just not ignore anything, and then just tell yourself, she's gonna figure it out, like herself, whenever she goes out to the outside world, because I feel like that is where she's gonna be more vulnerable than going out to the outside world prepared, for the outside world of the dating or the dating world, if I put it that way. I mean, it's conversations I'm open to, and sometimes she'll joke about it, that Daddy, I had a crush, or I saw this on on YouTube, and that boy looks so cute and all of that. So it's things that we laugh about, and then so if you're trying to run away from those, it's just wasting your time, because I mean, at the end of the day, when the age comes, it's definitely something that's going to happen. So you can't really run away from. You just need to be prepared and be ready as well, as a parent, to have those conversations with her as a woman, and she must also have that the opportunity to be in a space to be able to talk to you about, not just hold back or feel like I can only have this conversation with mommy, I can't have this conversation with daddy, and all of that, especially when it comes to talking about relationships. So that's where I'm at this point moment in time.
And Jabula, what about you? Just quickly, and then we're gonna close, because we are 15 minutes over.
I think it's the same thing. So I just try to be as close as possible with my boys and talk about everything. But the older one is turning 10 now, so he's still young, but he's to have those kind of funny talks. But it's something that I'm open to. But for me, it's a question of when it's gonna happen, I'm gonna be ready or not. But it's something that I'm open to looking forward to.
Okay.
So I was fortunate enough. No, it's fine, Lisa. You can close. But I'm just saying I was fortunate enough because my dad talked to. We had this conversation with my dad. So
okay, you're one of the fortunate ones. Okay, so in closing, this is what I'd like you guys to do, right? I'd like you guys to tell us either a funny story or a cute story about your kids, right? So when my son was 6 years old, he loves cars. So he used to say, "Can I drive your car? Can I drive your car?" And I said to him, "No, you can't." And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Because you don't have a license." He's like, "Oh, okay." So the next day I pick him up from school, and then he gives me a piece of paper. I'm like, "What's this?" He's like, "It's my license. Now can I drive your car?" I'm like, "Dude, no." Miss B, tell us a funny story about yours in closing.
I think for me, nothing tops that. But yeah, I'm here to hear. So there was a time where he went to visit his father. I was in Cape Town for like a week, and then I come back to go fetch him. And his father decided to also walk out with him. And as we are walking to my car, his father is like, "Yeah, no, Yazini, I think you and I must go out. We must go on holiday or something." Now you must understand, I'm not with this guy, right? And then I'm like, "No, dude, that's not gonna happen." Anyway, he walks away. And then when you get into the car, he's like, dude, did you see my dad was making on you?"
Yeah.
For him, it was like, he's like, "He's making on you. He can't do that. This guy cannot do that." And I was like, "Guys, can you see that I actually gave birth to my man in black, the protector,
Yeah, you
the one who
did.
will tell me, you know?" And I could tell, because at that point, I'm like, he's on my side, guys.
Yeah. Wow, Red, what about you in closing? What special time and funny thing you can tell us about your kids?
Well, mine is not funny, but it's a cute moment.
Right.
I think the cute moment was when my eldest son, the one who's 13 now, when he broke his hand, and the little one was crying, and was the one crying and saying, "Please, he wants God to transfer the pain that his brother is feeling to him, so that his brother can be well." So I thought that was so cute.
Oh my God, that is so cute. That is so cute.
Yeah. So that showed me he has a heart of gold.
Yeah. Oh
Definitely,
my God, that is
most
so cute.
definitely. Heartfelt on that one. So mine, I think the one moment, so I was babysitting because my mother was away traveling. So she knows that I no longer have a car because I had an accident with my car. So normally whenever I'm with her, I would like use her mom's car. So during the babysitting process, she's on some daddy. I want us to go to the zoo. So she's counting all of these things that she wants to do. We're doing lunch, we're going to the zoo, and then I'm like on to her. Okay, do you have money for all of these things? She's like, "No, but you have money." I'm like, "No, not at this point. The only thing that we agreed on was lunch, right?" And it was a bad month that time. And I'm like, "We only agreed to go to lunch. Zoo, there's extra fees that we're going to have to incur driving there as well, you know." So, and then we went out for lunch, and then we came back. And then later on, as we're sitting in the lounge watching, I can't remember what we're watching. So she goes to her room, and then she comes back with a piggy bank, and then she says, "You see, now we can go to the zoo. Here's money that you said that you don't that you said you don't have." So yeah, I found that that was like one of the cutest moments for me. You know.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah. Jabulo?
So for me, I'll just have one, the one that I had yesterday. So so I'm sitting with this guy. So my child's still young, so he just went to crèche last year. So yes, so I'm teaching him like, what's your mother's name, and then what's your father's name, what's your name, and all those kind of things. So I'm asking him, what's your name? Tell me his name, and then what's your father's name? And he said, my father's name is Njabulo. And then I'm asking, what's your mother's name? He said, oh, what's your mother's name? He said, my mother's name is your wife. It's because every day when I'm sitting with his mom, so every time whenever he cries, I repeat like, "No, don't bother my wife." Every time, don't do this to my wife.
Oh, that is so cute. That is so cute. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for being part of this conversation. My goodness, I want to say I'm sorry for going off over time, but for the sake of honesty, I am not, because I was really enjoying this conversation, and I'm sure our viewers were also enjoying the conversation. Guys, we'll see you next time. To our viewers, we'll see you next month with a new topic and a new panel. For now, it's Lihle Shongwe saying bye-bye with our amazing panel, and we'll see you guys next month. I'm gonna ask the panelists to please just switch off your videos and stay behind, and we'll have a chat.